Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results and WWE main event. Birthdays for this week. The videos are for the Raw episode July 29th, 2019. Birthdays this week from July 26th. Tommy Wildfire Rich, a.k.a. Thomas Richardson, turned 63. Roger Strong, real name Christopher Lindsay, turned 36. Marty Skrull turned 31. Tessa Blanchard turned 24. The late Pitbull number 2, Anthony Durante, was born July 26, 1967, died of a heart attack at the age of 36 on September 25th, 2003. July 27th birthday, Doink the Clown, the original. He was born 1957. Dolph Ziggler, 1980. Triple H, 1969. Shannon Moore, 1979. Adam Hangman Page, 1991. July 28th birthday, Noam Dar, 1993. Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks, he was born 1989. Sammy Guevara, 1993. July 29th birthdays, Captain Lou Albano, 1933. Scott Papa Slump Steiner, 1962. And Sonny Ono, 1962. Jimmy Uso was arrested and charged with DUI and given a speeding ticket early on Thursday morning outside Pensacola, Florida. Now we know even more details surrounding the arrest, and it was quite a situation. ABC3, where a WEAR TV reports that a complaint about a possible DUI came in about 1:30 a.m. on Thursday morning. An off-duty officer advised the deputy that there was a car traveling over 100 miles an hour as it drifted between the lanes. Where was his brother? Apparently not with him. Guess they don't travel together. It was said that the vehicle pulled in at the ticket spots bar, but when the deputy showed up, Uso's car was already gone. While sitting in a Publix, the deputy then observed a car accelerating rapidly, and he clocked the vehicle going 86 miles an hour in a 45 mile an hour speed zone while traveling close to other cars. This is when Uso was pulled over. Police report indicated that Jimmy had trouble holding his driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance when the officer requested them. Uso was also reportedly slurring his speech, had bloodshot, watery eyes, dilated pupils, and his eyelids were also droopy. The officer could smell alcohol in the car and requested that Jimmy step out of the car to speak with him. After several requests to step out of the car, Uso finally complied. However, he reportedly had trouble standing on his feet. This is when the officer asked Jimmy Uso if he would ride with him to a nearby flat, well-lit parking lot for a sobriety test. Jimmy Uso did ride with the deputy to the parking lot, but then he seemed to be confused and asked what was happening. The officer revealed that Uso would need to take a field sobriety test, to which Jimmy asked if he needed a lawyer and whether he was being detained. The officer revealed that it was not possible to have a lawyer present at the time as he was going to conduct a field sobriety test. Uso reportedly took his phone from his pocket and attempted to put his phone toward the deputy's face. At the time, Jimmy was placed in handcuffs and became uncooperative and had to be told numerous times to have a seat in a patrol car. Heck, I've seen the worst episode. The officer would then pull a gun on people who reach their hands in their pockets, because the suspect could be pulling out a gun himself. But Jimmy Uso reportedly kept saying that he was uncomfortable and asked to speak with another deputy numerous times. The report revealed that on the way to the jail, the officer needed to roll down his windows to let the car air out due to the overwhelming smell of alcohol coming from the WWE superstar. No other news on that, but I did read on several other reports that he was still in incarceration a day later. Okay, well, with other news, last night's W Raw saw the Viking Raiders squash two local talents, billed as Cole Carter and Johnny James. Carter was played by indie wrestler Carter Matthews, and James was played by Action Jackson. Jonathan Holt. Great to see him make his Raw debut in WWE because he is a local wrestler from Main Event Pro Wrestling as well. Also, did not get the video from that match, but he was there. I'm glad to see him make his debut. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash recently received thanks for helping a man fight murder conviction by Felix Upton. Adam Brazel has been incarcerated for the past 12 years over 2006 murder that he claims he didn't commit. He's been in jail ever since. There are no forensic evidence linking him to the crime, but he was still convicted. Capital Wrestling is holding an event on August 11th called Wrestling for Innocence in Nashville, Tennessee to help raise funds for Brazel's legal defense. He has spent 12 years behind bars already, but he has over 50 left to go. Brazel sent out a message to Scott Hall and Kevin Nash to thank them after they agreed to work the show. Obviously, this means a lot to him. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, this is Adam Brazel. I just want to let you know that I'm aware of what y'all are doing. Brazel said in a phone message, you know, Anthony DePino, founder of Wrestling for Innocence, he's been through a lot, and he's put together this Wrestling for Innocence, and I'm very grateful for him. I'm extremely grateful for you guys getting involved, and I also heard that you guys don't just want to get involved, you want to bring me home. I know this may be the beginning of a great thing, and it's wonderful to have you guys involved, and I'm so hopeful that you can bring a lot to this travesty of justice. This is bigger than me, that is all bigger than us. So I'm just extremely happy and grateful for your support and excited with your platform. You can speak out, educate, get involved, and make a difference in not only bringing me home, but hopefully many others. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully that this charge will be reevaluated and he can really thank Hall and Nash later on a more personal level once his crime is overturned. If anything, it has a mean to a lot to have two WWE Hall of Famers on your side. Hangman Page is said to be in a great spot with Elite Wrestling. After all, there are only two men competing to become first ever AEW World Champion and All Out. And one of them is Hangman. Of course, the other person in that match is Chris Jericho, so he's got quite a fight on his hands. There was interest from WWE for Hangman to sign with them. Some fans were under the impression that he might be one member of the Elite to make a decision to go to WWE instead. However, as he spoke to Busted Open Radio about this choice, it was an easy one to make for him. Fans of AEW will get very familiar with Hangman Page as the years go by because he's likely to be a main event player for AEW from this point on. There are opportunities, but that WWE could have offered Adam to sway his interest, but in the end, he made a decision to stick with his gut and his friends as they sought out to change the pro wrestling world together. I spoke about Adam Page months ago. Thanks to Fightful for the quote on that. Finn Balor couldn't work the WWE Smackville event over the weekend in Nashville, but there was a very good reason why he couldn't make the show. He was sick and in the hospital. Me and a buddy of mine, Robert didn't know about it, but I showed him a picture of the picture from his Twitter picture. Balor updated fans about how he's doing, and it looks like he's still a patient. He included a word caption of SummerSlam along with a picture of himself in a hospital bed. It's not easy to see Finn Balor in a hospital bed, but this was over the weekend. At least he's in street clothes and seems to be doing better. He has as much of a smile on his face as he could muster as well. Hopefully Finn Balor will be able to get rest, medicine, plenty of fluids before SummerSlam because he is He has a pretty big match against Bray Wyatt. Then Balor is supposed to be starting his hiatus from WWE. Probably his honeymoon coming up. AJ Styles has been paying attention to the criticisms that fans have been hurling at WWE recently. He might not agree with them either, and recently stood up for Seth Rollins' recent practice of defending WWE. While speaking to Sporting News, AJ Styles said that he understands where the architect is coming from because WWE superstars really try really hard to get fans to appreciate them. But no matter how frustrating it can get, it's always important to keep a level head with all the armchair quarterbacks out there who love to fantasy book their own version of WWE. I totally understand where he's coming from. We're out there trying our best to entertain everyone to the best of our ability. It's not easy to do that, and then you want to be armchair quarterbacks? Hindsight sucks. Everybody wants to do that. You can't do that. If they were so good at what they've done, I know you've heard this before. If the guys who want to criticize wrestling were so good at what they do, they've got a job in the wrestling business, but they don't. They rely on what someone else has said and whether or not they agree with that. They pick and choose what they like. You can't do that. Either you enjoy it or you don't. Regardless, you're making a show about it weekly, so something must be going right. Somebody is doing something right. We want to entertain. We want to do our best. So it's aggravating when not only do we know some things don't go the way that we like, then we have to hear it from somebody else. I even commented to Seth Rollins on his comment. I agree. The fans want to do something about it. Why don't they join the wrestling business and prove themselves and let other people comment on them? Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson won a triple threat on Raw to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. They defeated Usos and former champions, The Revival. It was Jimmy Uso who took the pin for the title change. This is the second Raw Tag Team titles for the title run for Gallows and Anderson of the OC. The Revival had won the titles back June the 10th. Raw was out after winning a triple threat over the Usos and former champions Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Another triple threat win. AJ Styles is pretty good. Okay, AJ Styles pretty good spot with WWE right now as he leads the OC into battle. Now that he's back with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, there doesn't seem to be much that he is going to complain about. He'll have to get under their skin when someone is determined to hate everything the WWE does without giving them a chance. They realize how bad things have become, and they are also doing their best to right those wrongs. Perhaps fans will eventually give WWE an honest shot at rectifying those matches. Until then, they just got to develop really thick skin. Lacey Evans has been on a roll with her social media interactions recently and really playing up her personality of a classy heel. She had back and forth with Medusa a few days ago, and that doesn't appear to be over quite yet. Hall of Famer tweeted out that WWE needs another Legends versus Superstar match at SummerSlam. Obviously, Medusa, aka Alundra Blaze, heard the rumors about Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair. After asking for opinions, Lacey Evans fired back saying, I'll volunteer to rip you out of your retirement home and make you choke on your words. Legend or not, you're disrespectful, swallow-headed, nasty. That has it coming. Talk about my family again? I'll lose this career gladly, waving goodbye with your blood on my hands. Maybe this match could be an attraction for WWE's biggest party in the summer. It might not be too good of an idea to put too much hope on this match actually happening, though. Then again, WWE is booking a really long event for Toronto, so perhaps Evans versus Medusa could find some room on the show somewhere. But this week, they haven't done anything on that. Well, Medusa had said at Medusa_rocks, we need another legend versus current talent match at hashtag SummerSlam. Who would y'all like to see? Lacey says, I volunteer to rip you out at Lacey Evans WWE. Rip you out of your retirement home and make you choke on your words. And you can see that link. WWE has plenty of second and third generation superstars on the roster right now. Unfortunately, Rachel Ellering suffered an injury last night at an NXT live event. The injury is said to have taken place during Saturday's NXT house show in St. Pierce, Florida. She was wrestling Lacey Lane at the time, and the match ended in a no contest following the injury. It is said on Wrestling Observer Radio that Ellering, daughter of legendary manager Paul Ellering, blew out her knee at the NXT house show. She was previously working as Rachel Evers, but WWE has finally made the wise decision to let her carry on her family name, so they changed it back recently. What bad luck, they changed her name back, and she gets injured. There isn't much word about her injury yet, but I'll keep you updated as more information is made known. And thanks to Ringside News for the news on that. Hopefully this setback won't keep her out of action long. The WWE Hall of Fame is missing a lot of names that fans would love to see receive the honor and time in the spotlight. Victoria left WWE to compete as Lisa Marie Varon, but she will always be a WWE legend in our opinion as well. And I agree. Thanks to the report here. Victoria recently spoke to WrestleZone. That's where I got the news from, and she was asked about accepting a WWE Hall of Fame induction. It's strange that she hasn't been inducted yet, considering everything she did during her time in the company. But she also hasn't been on any reunions either. She said just being told that she deserves it is good enough. But it's not up to her in the end, because the only one who can make that call is Vince McMahon. I get that question all the time, she says. When I hear from the fans that I deserve it, that means I did my job. They were entertained by me, and they appreciated my work, my ethic in the business, and they've appreciated what I've done. This makes me feel good when I hear it from the fans, and that's all I really need. It's not my decision to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. We don't call and say, hey, it's my turn. It's not something we do. Or it's, well, why don't you go back? You don't understand? We don't pick up the phone and say we want to come back. You have to be invited. When that time comes, it will be amazing. When I hear it from the fans, it's enough right now. Getting a shout out from Tori Wilson is nice, but it's a hard question to answer because it sounds pompous to say, yes, I deserve to be there. At the same time, will it happen? I don't know. It's not my decision. Perhaps it will eventually see Victoria receive her Hall of Fame induction. It will certainly mean a lot to her and her many fans. Her name really does deserve to be in there, as she was one of the women fighting for her spot through 3-minute matches in WWE, as she helped pave the way for the women's revolution to come. The next Impact Wrestling event will be Unbreakable on August the 2nd in Santa Ana, California. This coming weekend at Esports Arena. Impact will also be in Los Angeles, California at Florentine Gardens on August 3rd and Port Hueneme, California at Ocean View Pavilion with a television taping on August 4th. More details on that on your SmackDown video. Ring of Honor Summer Supercard will be held on August 9th in Toronto, Ontario at Matami Athletic Center with Matt Taven versus Alex Shelley for the Ring of Honor Championship. Next Evolve dates are Evolve 133 on August 24th in Livonia, Michigan. At Monahan Knights of Columbus Hall. And Evolve 134 on August 25th in Chicago, Illinois at Logan Square Auditorium. The next AEW event is the All Out pay-per-view on August 31st in Chicago, Illinois at Sears Center. The Young Bucks versus Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix in a ladder match. And Cody versus John Spears are scheduled as expected matches. MLW's War Chamber will be held September 7th in Dallas, Texas at NYTEX Sports Center. Results for you, Smackville, from over the weekend from Nashville, Tennessee, aired from July 27th on the WWE Network. I didn't even hear it was on until my buddy Robert told me about it. Broadcast team, Tom Phillips and David Otunga announced that Finn Balor was suffering from an undisclosed injury. As I told you earlier, that he was sick. I did not get the picture link of that as he was in the hospital clothes. As they questioned whether Shinsuke Nakamura would defend the Intercontinental title during the show, which he did. Nakamura made his entrance. No Finn, no match, but I win by forfeit. Nakamura said. Nakamura then called for the bell and was going to take the count-out win, but Ali came out and replaced Balor. Shinsuke versus Ali to retain. As Ali went for the 450 splash, Nakamura avoided the 450, and Ali rolled through, only to have Nakamura shove him face first in the corner, then hit Kansashi and pin him. So Nakamura retained the match, retained the title. Samoa Joe delivered a backstage promo about the main event triple threat. Elias held his musical performance in the ring. Kevin Owens eventually interrupted Elias, which led to a match. Kevin Owens versus Elias late in the match. Owens avoided top rope elbow drop. Owens rallied with a stunner and followed up with a swanton that led to the pinfall. Owens defeated Elias. Video package set up the main event. Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe versus Dolph Ziggler in a triple threat for the WWE Championship. Late in the match, Joe cut off a Ziggler super kick on Kingston with a suplex on Ziggler, who rolled to the ring to ringside. Joe turned Kingston inside out with a clothesline and covered him for a 2 count. Kingston avoided the clothesline, then connected with Trouble for Paradise, which led to the pinfall. Kofi defeated Samoa Joe and Dolph to retain the WWE Championship. WWE has announced the following matches and segments for Monday's Raw show, which you will hear in the results of the video. Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler. Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss in a non-title match. Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe meet in Samoan Summit. WWE announced 3 more matches for the show. First up in the video, in this video link, Kayla Braxton revealed Raw will kick off with a 24/7 title Mosh Pit mixed tag match with 24/7 champion R-Truth and Carmella teaming up against Drake and Renee Maverick for in-ring debut. They take the following matches from your main event matches for your spoilers. If I can get it uploaded before the show is. For your main event from North Little Rock, Arkansas. So Lacey Evans defeat Dana Brooke. Eric Young and Robert Roode and EC3 defeated Luke's House Party. Raw opened up with a video package for a 24/7 title. The voiceover says it's a title like no other. One that is redefining greatness. Live from the Verizon Center from North Little Rock, Arkansas, Michael Coleshaw welcomes us to the show. Chimed in by Corey Graves and Renee Young. Mosh Pit mixed tag team match that was announced for 24/7. Drake Maverick and Renee Michelle versus R-Truth and Carmella. I had troubles with the first section of Raw event, Raw. And about 10-15 minutes into the show, I found a good feed for it and stayed with it through the thing. But during the second hour, I fell asleep. So tired. Well, we go right to the ring, surrounded by a bunch of superstars. Looked like it's a lumberjack match. And my feed froze, so I had to go to another one. It's called the Mosh Pit. Coleslaw said it will come into play later on. We see Jake Maverick and wife Renee Michelle walking down the ramp to the ring as Coleslaw and Renee go over the rules to the match. Out next with 24/7 champion R-Truth and Carmella, rapping to the ring. The bell rings and the brawl breaks out. They settle things down and Drake starts with Truth. We get an early pin attempt by Drake. As Cole says, the 24/7 rules are suspended during this match. Superstars at ringside could come into play. Truth turns around on Drake and covers for a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Carmella cheers him on. Truth backdrops Drake into the Superstars, but they catch him and carry him around to another part of the apron. Drake comes in, but Truth drops him on his face for a 2 count. Renee comes in, but Carmella is right after her, tackling her and unloading on her. Drake backs Renee into the corner as Truth checks on Carmella. Carmella slaps Drake, allowing Truth to go back to work on him. Truth drops Drake and covers for the pin to retain. After the bell, Truth stands tall as the music plays. Still, your 24/7 champion is surrounded by the Superstars on the apron now. Everyone piles on top of Truth, and we hear a referee making a count. Everybody's on top of Truth. But who comes out? Mike Kanellis running away with the 24/7 title. And he's announced as the new champion. Kanellis runs to the back as his music starts up. Truth and Carmella are shocked back in the ring. Winner and new 24/7 champion Mike Kanellis, supposedly. Camera cuts backstage to Mike Kanellis running away with the title. Superstars chase him into a room, but he locks them out. Maria appears and goes on about being pregnant, needing help. Superstars retreat. Maria starts beating on the door, but Mike doesn't believe it's her. Maybe it's Carmella pretending to be her. How does he know it's his wife? Maria says if he doesn't let her in right now, she will kick the door down and kick him in his vagina. Door opens and Mike lets Maria in. Still to come, segment. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss and Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler. Also, Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe will try to squash their beef in Samoa Summit. Gauntlet match, which I didn't see. Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Ricochet, and Andrade. We go to the ring. Out first comes Rey Mysterio. Winner of this gauntlet will become the new #1 contender to face the U.S. champion AJ at SummerSlam. Rey hits the ring as you go to commercial. Back for the ring, Cesaro was out. The bell rings and they go at it. Cesaro with an early pin attempt. More back and forth between the two. Cesaro takes some control with power moves. We see AJ backstage watching the match. They end up on the floor with Rey on Cesaro's shoulders. Rey sends Cesaro face first at the apron for a pop. The referee counts. Rey flies under the bottom rope, but comes up, possibly tweaking his knee, says Cole. They bring him back in the ring. Rey sends Cesaro flying with scissors again. Rey gets a pop as he goes for the 619, but Cesaro retreats to the floor. Rey kicks Cesaro back into the barrier from the ring. Rey runs the ropes and nails the baseball side, then sending Cesaro flying into the barrier with the scissors again. Cesaro falls over into the crowd as we go to commercial. Back to the right, Rey is almost counted out after we see how Cesaro powerbombed him into the ring post during the break. More offense on the floor. Cesaro brings Rey back to the mat for a close 2 count. They end up on the top as we see AJ backstage watching again. My feed does come back in as I see this happening. Rey headbutts Cesaro to the mat. Rey hits a big senton from the top and starts to mount more offense. Rey drops Cesaro with a big kick to the face for a 2 count. Rey sells the knee injury again and springboards at Cesaro, but Cesaro nails a huge uppercut in midair. Rey still kicks out. Rey fights off the neutralizer, but Cesaro levels him and hits the big boot for a 2 count. My feed goes to buffer again at that point. So that's all I see. Cesaro shows frustration. Cesaro more power moves and a gut wrench. Cesaro ends up running into a ring post, shoulder first as Rey moves. Cesaro catches Rey in mid-move once again with a big shot. Cesaro puts Rey on his shoulders, climbs the second turnbuckle. Rey fights back up from high. Up high as Rey goes for a hurricanrana, but Cesaro stops him. Rey keeps fighting back. Cesaro catches him again, but Rey counters up high and turns it into a big bulldog. Rey is slow to capitalize, but nails a 619 for a pop. Ray goes to the top and hits the big splash for the pin to advance. Cesaro has been eliminated. Music hits, and out comes Sami Zayn running to the ring. Sami immediately starts unloading on Ray as the referee tries to back him off. Fans boo. The referee finally gets Sami back. My feed is frozen as Ray was up top at that point, and that was it. Ray ducks a Helluva Kick, rolls Sami up for an easy elimination. Sami is furious as two referees hold him back from Ray. The music hits, out comes Andrade with Zelina Vega. Ray looks on as we go to commercial, back for the break. Andrade is beating Ray down in the corner, and my feed goes back on. They tangle, but Andrade keeps Ray in a hole. We see AJ backstage watching again. At that point, my feed goes back out again, buffering for a long time. Andrade fights off of Ray's counters and takes him to the corner for offense as Vega cheers him on. Ray mounts some momentum and Andrade down for a 2 count. Ray keeps Andrade grounded. Andrade shoves Ray into the turnbuckles and keeps control for a few more minutes. Andrade poses over Ray and shows off some as the boos pick up for the crowd. Andrade delivers a big kick to the head for a 2 count as Vega continues yelling at ringside. Andrade sends Ray to the floor. As he goes down at the barrier, Andrade wastes some more time as the referee counts Ray down. Andrade follows and keeps the attack going on the outside. Andrade takes the time, but brings Ray back in for a big chop. Andrade talks some trash, but Ray fights back. Andrade unloads, but Ray kicks him in the face. Andrade catches a moonsault. They tangle, and Andrade hits the 3 suplexes in a row. Eddie Guerrero style. Fans boo as Andrade gets to the top for the moonsault. Ray moves, but Andrade immediately follows up with another moonsault for a close 2 count. Ray nails an enziguri, dropping Andrade into position for the 619. Andrade blocks it and hits backbreaker. Andrade with a DDT in the middle of the ring for the pin to advance. Apparently, the referee was trying to wave Andrade off from the pin as Ray was hurt. Stoppage of the match, I'm guessing. Andrade goes for Ray after the bell and yanks his mask off. Ricochet runs down and attacks Andrade to make save. Still, as the mask is off, bald head and what have you. Ricochet sends Andrade to the floor to regroup with Vega. Ricochet checks on Ray in the ring as we go back to commercial. Back for the break, they're going at it. Ricochet gets the upper hand after an exchange and nails a drop kick. Ricochet is ready to fly out onto Andrade, but Vega distracts him from the floor and interferes. Andrade comes back in to attack, but Ricochet catches him. They go at it until Ricochet gets knocked out of the ring. Vega provides another assist to Andrade. Referee counts as Andrade works Ricochet over on the floor. Ricochet gets launched into the barrier again. Andrade returns to the ring as the referee counts. Ricochet makes it back in, but Andrade stomps away in the corner while he's down. Andrade then takes it back to the corner for more offense. Ricochet fights out of another corner and rolls into a big drop kick as Vega yells from ringside, trying to get Andrade up before Ricochet. Ricochet gets up first and he trades shots in the middle of the ring. Ricochet drops Andrade and nails him into the Hurricanrana. Ricochet gets fired up. Ricochet springboards in from the apron, but has to roll through. Andrade knocks Ricochet into the corner as he lands really bad. Referee checks on him as Vega rallies for Andrade. Andrade delivers double knees in the corner, but Ricochet kicks out. Vega and Andrade show frustration. They tangle, and Ricochet rolls Andrade up for a 2 count. They trade more big shots in the middle of the ring. Ricochet nails a big spike in front of Hurricanrana, but Andrade somehow kicks out. The crowd of Vega can't believe it. Ricochet goes up top, but Andrade gets up and cuts him off. Andrade climbs up with him, and they trade shots, but Ricochet sends him to the mat. Ricochet is slow to climb to the top, but he nails a 630 for the pin and the title shot at SummerSlam. Winner and new number 1 contender to the U.S. champion, AJ Styles, is Ricochet. After the match, Vega screams out. As Ricochet begins his celebration, we go to replays. Kayla Braxton comes in to interview Ricochet. He talks about how people will believe when he wins the title from AJ at SummerSlam. We go backstage to the new 24/7 champion, Mike Kanellis, and Maria Kanellis. Mike wants Maria to see him with dignity and respect now. He says he won the title for her. She asks, what? Maria orders Mike to get down. I did find a feed on a different channel for a live feed, and it was great. Right after this match, when I fell asleep right after finding that. She calls for a referee to come into the room. Mike asks what she's doing. Maria says she is pinning him so her unborn child will have a champion for a parent. Maria orders Mike down and tells the referee to get into position. Mike slowly gets down and hesitates. Maria covers with the Superman pin, doing this, and with the high heel on his chest. Covers for the pin, referee catches the pin. Winner new 24/7 champion, Maria. After the match, Maria walks out of the ring with the title and brags about being the first pregnant WWE 24/7 champion as other superstars walk up. She approaches Titus O'Neil and asks what he would do to become the two-time champion. Would he wrestle a pregnant woman? Would anyone else? Maria goes on about being pregnant and the first pregnant champion. Maria says she will be at her OBGYN appointment this coming Thursday. If anyone wants to come pin her while her legs are up in the air with stirrups, they're more than welcome. We go back to the arena, and here comes Alexa Bliss with Nikki Cross for another episode, A Moment of Bliss on the stage. Bliss talks about the Raw reunion from last week, and we see Dolph Ziggler ruined it. But Ziggler isn't the only bad apple walking around here. We should have seen what happened earlier today. Bliss shows us footage of Agent Finley and Natalya working out in the ring with 3 enhancement talents. In the empty arena before Raw began, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch ran into the ring, kneed Finley, and attacked Natalya before she was stopped. We come back to Bliss, and fans are chanting Becky's name. Bliss can't believe they're condoning what we just saw. She says this isn't championship behavior. Carl says it's almost like Becky is trying to take Natalya out before their match at SummerSlam. Bliss agrees. Bliss promises to knock the man down a few pegs when they wrestle tonight. Fans pop as Bliss appears on the big screen. Becky tells Bliss not to injure herself, turning around too fast, taking a shot at her for being injury prone. Becky tells Bliss to say what she wants because she will have to pay for it later in her match. Becky asks Cross if she really came all the way over from Scotland to be a coffee girl for Bliss. She asks where her Celtic pride is. Becky says Natalya earlier found out what happens when you talk trash, and she hasn't forgotten about what Bliss said. Becky says she will see Bliss later. Triple threat for the Raw Tag Team titles, Usos versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Revival. Revival's your champions. Right now, we go to the ring. Out comes the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. They say they are in the building, and won't miss Raw for nothing. They continue to work the mics and welcome everyone to the Uso Penitentiary as they hit the ring. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Out comes Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson of the OC. Raw Tag Team Champions Revivals were out last. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder will get formal ring introductions. Mike Rome. The Revival flips a coin to see who will start off with Jimmy. They go at it, and Jimmy takes Dawson down first. Dawson turns around and keeps him down. Uso drops him, but Dawson comes right back to take control. Dawson takes it to the corner and delivers a big chop. Dawson with a big back suplex. The more offense before Dash tags in. Jimmy fights Dash off and tags in Ray. Uso's double team Dash in the corner. Jay with a big leaping shot to the shoulder for a 2 count. Jay with a big chop to drop Dash. Dash turns it around in the corner and rocks Jay into the ropes. I did see part of this match before I actually fell asleep. Dash with more shots into the Revival's corner, allowing the tag to Dawson. Revival double teams Jay and Dawson to keep them grounded. Jay fights up and out of a hole, but Dawson rocks him. Jay counters the move and back drops Dawson. Dash tags in, but Jay turns it around and brings him into their corner. Jimmy tags in for double team on Dash. Dash kicks out just in time. Jay quickly tags back in and fires from the top for another double team. Jay takes Dash down by his arm and keeps him down with it. Dash tags in Dawson and takes Jay to the corner. Dawson works him over and applies a sleeper hold in the middle of the ring. Jay comes out of a hold, but Dash tags in and stops Jay from making it to Jimmy. Gallows and Anderson continue to just watch from their corner. Dash mounts Jay in the corner with right hands, but Jay sends him to the mat. Jay flies onto Dash for a 2 count. Jay keeps control and drops Dash with a big right hand. Jay gets sent to the floor through the ropes. Gallows runs right over Jay on the outside, finally getting involved in the match. We go to commercial with Gallows standing over Jay on the outside. Back to the ring, Anderson has Jay grounded on the mat. Anderson keeps control and drops Jay with a big kick for a 2 count. As we see AJ watching backstage, Anderson works Uso over the corner, then tags in Gallows. Gallows unloads on Uso in the corner and stops away. Gallows drops a big elbow to the heart for another close 2 count. Gallows keeps Uso grounded in the middle of the ring now. Jay finally nails a jawbreaker to break free, and Anderson tags in and goes right to work on Uso to stop the tag. Anderson drops Uso for another pin attempt. Anderson talks some trash while beating Jay around the ring. Jimmy and Dash tag in at the same time. Jimmy unloads on Dash and gets a pop. Dash blocks the Samoan drop, but takes an enziguri. Jimmy with more offense into Rikishi splash in the corner. Jimmy knocks others off the apron and keeps the offense going on Dash. Jimmy flies from the top, but Dash rolls through. They tangle and Anderson drops off the apron. Jimmy nails a Samoan drop on Dash for a close 2 count. Fan chant for Jimmy as he readies in the corner. Dawson comes up, but Jimmy drops him to the floor. This allows Dash to attack, but Jimmy rocks him. But not noticing, Dawson tagged in. Dawson comes in and they hit double team Bulldog, but Anderson breaks the pin just in time. Anderson and Dawson end up tumbling to the floor and landing hard. Gallows delivers a big boot out of nowhere. Dash runs out and takes Gallows down with a tornado DDT. Jimmy runs the ropes and leaps out, taking them both down. Referee checks on Dash as he's dazed. Jay goes to the top, but Dawson rocks him. Dawson climbs to Jay, and they fight up high. Up on top rope, a huge superplex brings both superstars down to the floor, crashing on the other 4 superstars. All 6 superstars are laid out on the floor. Some fans chant, "This is awesome," as the referee checks on them all. Jimmy brings Dawson back in the ring, but he's having trouble. They are still illegal. Jimmy goes to the top for Uso's splash, but Dawson moves and he rolls through. Gallows tags in, but Jimmy knocks him off the apron. Revival hits a shatter machine on Jimmy. Jay with a crossbody to them from the top. Anderson with a big spine buster. Anderson and Gallows hit Magic Killer on Jimmy for the pin to win the titles. We're the new tag team champions, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the OC. All the OC are your champions now. After the match, Gallows and Anderson take the title, they head out of the ring and immediately plays. We go to replays. We see Gallows and Anderson standing tall on the stage with their titles as the Usos look off of the ring. Revival exits from the ring as their celebration continues. We go back to commercial. Back to the right, Caleb Braxton is backstage with AJ Styles asking about how Raw Tag Team title changes. Luke and Carl Anderson come rushing in to kick off the celebration. We get a look back at last week's Raw reunion special. We also see how Dolph Ziggler dropped Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels on SmackDown the next night. Seth Rollins will look to get revenge for Michaels when he faces Ziggler tonight. We see the Viking Raiders backstage, back commercial. Viking Raiders versus Johnny James and Cole Carter, the enhancement talents. Back to the ring, out comes the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, 2 enhancement talents, awaiting the ring. Johnny James and Cole Carter. This is another squash win for the Vikings. They destroy their opponents with big power moves and double team moves. They hit a big double team move on their opponents and then hit the Viking experience on one guy to get the pin. After the match, Eric and Ivar stand tall as music plays. We go to replays. We come back to the Viking roughing each other up on the stage. NXT Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits are backstage. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins talking about some of the happening on tonight's show. Angelo may have A thing for WWE 24/7 champion Maria Kanellis. Montez brings up how Maria did say Mike Kanellis isn't the dad. Ford wonders if Dawkins has been getting it on with Maria. Dawkins warns him not to spread rumors. Seth Rollins walks up and talks with the Street Profits a bit. Dawkins brings up Rollins getting payback on Dolph Ziggler for WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels and tells him the locker room is behind him. They help get Rollins hyped up for his match as he walks off. We see Becky Lynch walking backstage, back to commercial. Back from the break, we'll announce and go over some of the happenings on tonight's show. Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss was up next. We go to the ring. Out comes Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch for the non-title action. Out next comes Alexa Bliss with Nikki Cross. Bliss tries to block out the chance for Becky. Becky taunts Bliss and dares her to punch her on the chin. They start going at it, and Becky takes her down on the mat. Becky goes for an early disarmer attempt, but Bliss tangles. Cross ends up rocking Becky with a cheap shot from the floor as the referee wasn't looking. She smiles and walks away. Becky with more offense until Bliss turns around with a knee. Bliss with a 2 count. Bliss goes back to work and kicks away in the corner as the fan chant for Becky and trying to rally her up. Becky rolls Bliss up for a 2 count. Bliss comes right back, takes Becky down. Bliss with a double stretch while on the mat. Bliss tries to bite Becky's hand. They tangle some more. Becky applies a disarmer. Bliss breaks free and rocks her. Bliss talks trash while standing over Becky. Bliss drops knees and comes back with a moonsault for a 2 count. Bliss with another quick pin attempt. Bliss mounts Becky with more punishment and a 2 count in the middle of the ring. Fans rally for Becky louder. Becky comes back with a basement drop kick. Becky ends up on the apron, but she fights back in. Bliss counters a exploder suplex. Cross encourages Bliss from ringside. Becky with a kick. Bliss misses in the corner, and Becky clotheslines her. Becky mounts more offense now and drops Bliss. Bliss sells an ankle injury. Becky hits the exploder. Bliss clutches her ankle again. The referee checks on her, and she's crying. Cross gets on the apron and checks on Bliss as Becky looks on. A trainer comes over and helps the referee move Bliss to the apron. Fans boo as we get a replay. The referee asks the trainer if Bliss can continue, and she can't. Winner by referee stoppage, Becky Lynch. After the match, Becky stands tall, raises her title. After being announced the winner, Cross comes to the apron and has words with Becky. Cross comes into the ring. As the exchange heats up, we got a commercial with Becky and Nikki arguing in the ring. Now we got Nikki versus Becky. Back from the break, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch versus Nikki Cross is underway. Another non-title match made during the break. They go at it for the first few minutes. Cross takes Becky down and grounds her as fans chant Becky's name. We see Alexa sitting at ringside with her ankle propped up. Becky ends up sending Cross out to the floor. Cross fights back in and goes up top. Becky rocks her and sends her to the mat. Becky brings Cross out of the corner and drives her into the mat with a manhandle slam. Lynch covers for a fairly easy win out of nowhere. After the match, Lynch celebrates and raises her title as the music plays. Bliss suddenly comes up from behind and drops Lynch. Alexa's knee is now fine. Cross and Bliss double team Lynch. Natalya comes running down to the ring, forcing Bliss and Cross to retreat. Natalya grabs Lynch and applies a sharpshooter to her. Revenge from earlier, Natalya finally breaks a hole and marches up the ramp. We get replays and see officials helping Becky out of the ring. Camera cuts backstage to Natalya walking. Kayla Braxton stops her for comments. Natalya says it's not about making friends, it's about being professional. And after she wins at SummerSlam, Lynch won't want to shake her hand. Natalya goes on and says she doesn't trust Becky. Natalya says that she would like to challenge Becky to make their SummerSlam match a submissive match, but she knows Becky doesn't have the guts. So she's not going to be asking her to accept the challenge. Natalya walks off and we go to commercial. Back from the break, we see 24/7 champion Maria backstage having her photo taken, bragging about being the champ. Braun Strowman appears behind her. Maria runs her mouth and asks Braun to show her how big and strong he is. Strowman just fumes and stares out. Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins is up next. We go to the ring. Out comes Seth Rollins first. We see how Dolph Ziggler dropped WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels on last week's SmackDown. Rollins is looking to get payback for Shawn tonight. Music hits and everyone thinks Shawn is coming out, but it's Ziggler. Fans boo as Ziggler laughs at them and mocks them. Ziggler says it looks like Rollins lost his smile. Ziggler goes on about WWF Hall of Famers returning to take their spots, whether it's Michaels or Bill Goldberg. It says Ziggler, it says they're both pathetic. Ziggler enters the ring, which I did woke up at that point, and that was it for the segment. Taking more shots at Michaels. Bell rings and Rollins runs right over Ziggler. I think I got up to go to the bathroom and came right back, went back to sleep. Rollins runs over Ziggler, tosses him over the top rope to the floor. Rollins sends Ziggler into the barrier, keeps control, tossing him onto other parts of the barrier. Rollins brings him back in the ring. Ziggler crawls right back, out, and Rollins follows. Ziggler turns around, but Rollins gets the upper hand. Rollins brings him back in the ring, kicks Ziggler in the back while he's down. They fight on the apron. Ziggler catches Rollins and drops him on the apron with a big DDT. They both fall to the floor as we go to commercial. Back to the break. Ziggler trying to mount offense. Rollins drops him. Ziggler with a back elbow for a 2 count with his feet on the bottom ropes for leverage. The cheated video game win. Rollins counters and hits a Falcon Arrow for a close 2 count in the middle of the ring. Rollins waits for Ziggler to get back up. He charges, but Ziggler counters. Rollins flies in, but rolls through. Rollins hits the ring post as Ziggler moves. Rollins goes for the zigzag for a close 2 count. Ziggler cranks up for the Sweet Chin music. Rollins jumps up first, hits a super kick for a pop. Rollins goes on and ready for the stomp. It's fan chant, burn it down now. Music interrupts, and out comes Universal Champion Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. Fans pop as Rollins waits for a fight in the ring. Lesnar hits the ring, clotheslines Rollins as he's distracted. The referee calls for the belt, and the match is over. Winner by disqualification, Seth Rollins. After the belt, Lesnar keeps the attack going and unloads with German suplexes. Lesnar takes Rollins to the floor, launches him into the barrier a few times. Lesnar with a big suplex on the floor, leaving Rollins laid out. Lesnar scoots Rollins on his shoulders and then sends him into the ring post with a big F5. Lesnar smiles, looks down at Rollins. Lesnar then grabs a steel chair, brings him back in the ring with Rollins. Lesnar with a big chair shot over the back. Lesnar takes a seat in the chair, looks down at Rollins while he crawls, getting a mixed reaction from the crowd. Rollins crawls to the front of the ropes, but Lesnar grabs him again and delivers another F5 over the chair. Ribs first once again. Rollins crawls around as Lesnar stalks him some more. Lesnar delivers another F5 on a standing chair as Heyman looks on for the apron. Lesnar takes the time, but stands the chair back up. Heyman begs Lesnar to stop as he grabs Rollins and chops him on the chair once again. Heyman pleads with Lesnar. Lesnar grabs the title and makes his exit up the ramp with Heyman. We go to replays. Lesnar stands tall and raises the title on the stage. And as medics load Rollins onto a stretcher at ringside. Rollins sells the attack and it looks to be in bad shape as we go back to commercial. Back to the right, we see Roman Reigns checking on Seth Rollins as his stretcher is pushed through the backstage area. Reigns turns to Samoa Joe and the OC as they stomp away on the Usos who are down. Joe and the OC beat down Reigns as well and run off. We cut back to Rollins' stretcher being loaded into the ambulance. Brock Lesnar appears in front of the ambulance and orders the medics to turn the engine off. Lesnar brings Rollins' stretcher out of the ambulance and goes back to work on him, destroying him in the back. Lesnar drops Rollins over the stretcher with another F5. Officials are back over to check on Rollins. As Lesnar leaves, we go back to commercial. Back for the break, out comes Samoa Joe to the ring for the Samoan Summit. We see what just happened in the backstage area. Joe announces that the Samoan Summit has been canceled due to a catastrophic failure of peace talks. Joe says he's fine with that because he came to fight tonight. Joe calls Roman Reigns to the ring so he can finish what he started backstage. Reigns' music hits as he comes out with the fans pop. Reigns rushes the ring, beats him down. Reigns powers up, rocks him, knocking him out of the ring. Reigns follows to the floor, and brawl continues with Reigns in control. Reigns sends Joe into the barrier and keeps the offense going. Reigns with a headbutt. Joe fights back and stuns Reigns. Reigns blocks the shot and delivers a headbutt. Joe counters a whip and launches Reigns into steel ring steps. Joe smiles but turns back around to Reigns, launching half of the steps into his face. Drew McIntyre runs down and attacks Reigns from behind. Reigns fights back and sends Drew over the barrier. Reigns follows into the crowd, but Drew decks him. Drew fights Reigns through the crowd back to the ringside area. Joe joins Drew and They bring Reigns back into the ring. Double team goes down in the ring. Cedric Alexander runs down to make the save, leaping into the ring to take Joe down. Cedric fights Drew off, and Drew drops him with a kick to the head. Cedric runs to leap out onto Reigns, but Joe interrupts with a big clothesline. Joe works Reigns over in the ring while Drew has Cedric up on the stage. Drew launches Cedric into the LED wall. Joe brings Reigns to the announce table, and they look to put him through it, but the Usos make the save. New Raw Tag Team Champions Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson join in on the brawl. On the stage now, we see Cedric Alexander up high on top of the LED structure. Cedric leaps down and takes down the other superstars next to the announce table for a big pop. Drew and Cedric end up down in the ring now. Cedric avoids the Claymore kick, drops Drew. Cedric goes to the top, but he can't hit it. Gallows and Anderson go for a magic killer on Cedric, but Reigns makes a save with two Superman punches. Another to send Drew out. Cedric flies out and takes Drew down on the floor. The Usos hit double super kicks on Joe in the ring. Reigns follows up with a spear to take Joe out again. Fans pop as the babyfaces have control now as Raw goes off the air with Reigns, Cedric, and the Usos standing tall. There was no dark match after Raw from the Verizon area in north of Little Rock. And that concludes my video for this week. Thanks again. Peace out. See you one of you. If you don't know, just comment, brothers and sisters.